Hey everyone, I'm John Lynn, the founder and chief editor at Healthcare IT Today. We're excited to bring you another in our series of interviews with top leaders in health IT. And our guest today is a return guest, Alex Lebrun, co-founder and CEO at Nabla. Welcome, Alex.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you here at Health. There's a lot of excitement, and you're probably in the most exciting area, at least for me, AI medical scribes, ambient clinical voice. But for those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and Nabla.
Yeah, so I started my first AI company 22 years ago, so a long time before all the hype. I sold the first one to Nuance, then I started another one that we sold to Facebook before it was Meta. And I spent 4 years at Meta AI Research working on very powerful models that would become the large language models. And one day I did a demo to physicians and they became crazy and told me, we need this, we studied the 12 years of school and ended up doing half of our time administrative work, and we want to get rid of this. Can you help us? And I said yes, and we started Nabla.
That's amazing. Well, I think that's been the reaction of doctors, and like I said, we've had you on before, but you've made a ton of progress, right? It's amazing. Talk to me about some of these milestones and what they mean and what you've seen, as far as you now have 45,000 physicians, 85 healthcare organizations, 8 million encounters, right? Like before it was like, this is cool, people seem to like it. Now you're like 8 million encounters. Like what's your reaction to kind of the progress that you've made?
Yeah, it means that it's not an experimental thing anymore. It's not a pilot or something new that some crazy early adopters are trying.
It's not a dream.
It means it's obvious now for every hospital. Every provider wants this kind of help from AI. So these milestones means that we reach in about a year, means that it's something obvious that they want to use. So we are now in the full mass adoption cycle of this tool. And it went very fast. Usually in healthcare, it takes years and yet 10 years to go from innovation to full adoption. And then for this space of ambient AI, we went in 1 year to full adoption.
Interesting. Do you have an example of someone who's gone through that process of adoption you can share?
Yeah, so for instance, we are partnering with the University of Iowa Healthcare for 3,000 providers, physicians. And just 30 days into launch, 800 are already using Nabla every day. And it's done with very minimal training. It's really an organic adoption through word of mouth, and it's very easy to use. So it goes very fast. Adoption goes very fast, even without pushing them.
I mean, it's amazing to compare to the EHR, which is a multi-year project with multiple consulting companies that roll it out. But these are just being implemented, 800 providers with no consulting companies, no other ones. That's fascinating. What are some of the stories you're hearing from the users of Nabla? That's my favorite part of Ambient Voice, the AI medical scribe, is hearing how it impacts them. Because it's a very almost personal, it seems like, when we hear it. So what are some of the stories you've heard?
Yeah, so first on one side we have measurements of 28% reduction of burnout measured at University of Iowa. For instance, average note of the documentation we generate is a 4.3/5 rating. So we have very factual measurement, and we also have every day lots of messages from users. This is what I prefer in my job. So we have actually a Slack channel at Nabla called Product Love, and every day we receive dozens of messages saying, for instance, wow, I got rid of pajama time. I can spend more time with my kids, literally every day since I adopted Nabla. Some people said I wanted to retire, and I will stay 1 more year because I'm so happy. We've been waiting for this kind of technology for 30 years, and finally it's here. So we got messages like that every day, which is very exciting for us.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I was going to retire, decided to wait a little longer. That's an interesting message. Talk to me about what's next for Nabla. AI medical scribe, the ambient voice is a powerful solution, but what do you see as next?
Yeah, so I think we are today at a very important inflection point, and the first phase of ambient AI is done. We are starting phase 2. So first phase was the phase of the scribe. It's a passive device. It's listening, documenting what the physician says, but it's not active. It's really a passive device like scribes do. And we are starting the second phase where our customers ask us to be more proactive, to nudge the clinician, to help them proactively. And so it's really a new era. It's a completely different kind of product. And we needed to first earn their trust. We needed to get to very high level of accuracy and safety with the AI before we could even think about becoming proactive in the encounter. So this is a new phase. It's very exciting because I think AI in general starts by helping with all processes, like we do with documentation. We are not changing the way documentation is done. The concept of documentation, we are just making it easier to do. And now we are at the second phase. AI enables new things or completely new ways to do things, to reinvent the experience. And this is what is starting now, where we do things that no scribes were doing. So that's why I'm not calling what we do scribe, but more ambient AI, because it will become proactive and it's not a scribe. It's more than a scribe now.
I mean, that is a fascinating evolution of it, right? Really becoming more of an assistant to the doctor as opposed to just listening, and then after the fact doing something. Do you have an example you could share of Nabla doing active, clinical documentation improvement or any other active things that you're looking at doing?
Yeah, so for instance, on average, 15% of claims are initially rejected by payers because something is missing in the documentation.
Sure.
And we can address this in real time. This is new. It's possible today with AI to address this not after the fact, when it's too late, but during the encounter in real time. So for instance, if you are in orthopedics surgeon, you do a bunion correction surgery, with many payers, if you forget to write the angle of the toe in the documentation, the claim will be initially rejected, and everybody is wasting their time. And so in this case,
you get the message from the biller to the doctor who doesn't reply, and they have to send another one.
Exactly. This is a nightmare we are all aware of. Here, in this case, with a proactive Nabla, we will nudge the clinician and tell them, okay, you should document the angle. So it's a very small and relevant nudge at the right time before the encounter is over. That will avoid months of back and forth and nightmare for everyone. So this is one example of what we are starting to do with a few partners.
Interesting. Talk to me about how the technology is advanced. You've been sharing some of it on LinkedIn. Everyone should go follow you, I think. You share some really interesting perspectives, but how is the technology advanced, and what has it enabled that maybe previously wasn't possible that now is? I mean, you have 22 years, but even just in the last couple of years, how is it advanced to, allow things that when you started wouldn't have even been possible?
So large language models, as you know, are very, very powerful, but hard to control. It's hard to get a guarantee of accuracy, to have no hallucinations. People who pretend there is no hallucinations, we know it's impossible. And to do this kind of proactive, real-time nudges, you need to have higher accuracy and no hallucinations at all, because if you do something, suggest something wrong, it's really a huge problem, and we will lose the users forever.
Sure.
And so the bar is much higher. The accuracy, safety bar to become proactive is very, very high. So what's new is after more than 10 million actually encounters and feedback from thousands of clinicians, we've developed kind of adversarial models that can fact check what LLMs are doing. And the combination of these two very different kind of AI models make the whole system much more accurate and safe, and we can have a guarantee of not inventing things or making things that could be a big problem. So what's new is after this first phase of 2-3 years of ambient AI, we've reached this accuracy guarantee that's needed to do more and to be more involved in helping the clinicians.
Interesting. What would you say is the biggest challenge that you face now, right? I mean, is it the hallucinations and accuracy, or I mean, obviously we know the biggest challenge is everyone wants it and you can't scale up in time, but beyond that, like what is the biggest challenge you face with ambient clinical voice and kind of this shift to more of an AI assistant?
So the challenge is that every health organization is different, and then inside one organization, every physician is different. They have different expectations. They document things differently, different processes. I never met two physicians who agree on what is the best workflow.
It's true.
And it's not our job. We understood these past years. It's not to me to decide what is how they should work. And so one of the challenges is to adapt to every organization and then to every clinician inside the organization workflow and to understand how they work and adapt to them. We don't want them to have to adapt. So to scale for us, normally you want a very standard way to do things to be able to scale. And we have to scale without losing the flexibility that we have today, our ability to personalize, to adapt, which is a key reason why they choose us over others. And we need to scale without losing that. So it's a very interesting problem.
Yeah, it is a challenge. Interesting. Where are we at with EHR integration? Where are we going? Like, I think that's such an important part. Everyone that I talk to is like, sure, copy and paste worked in the beginning, but it doesn't work long term. So where are we at with EHR integration?
Yeah, there's been a lot of progress the last 12 months. Now we have very, very smooth integration with Epic, Cerner, Athena, the next gen, all the leaders. It took a lot of time and back and forth and feedback to improve this. It can always still be better, and the more involved we are, beyond documentation, but involved in other workflows like orders, nursing, vitals, and everything, RCM down the line will require more and more, very close integration with EHRs, and I think EHRs are understood that and are moving fast to allow this integration. So we are very happy to partner with them.
Yeah, no, I think that's the shift that I've seen is EHR vendors have said, we're not going to build it in most cases, and so we need to enable everyone else. So I'm glad to hear it's going well. So where can people go to learn more and get a demo? I'm sure that's the first thing. If you've not used Nabla, you probably want a demo. Where should they go to learn more?
Very easy, just not more than a demo. Use it yourself, try it for you. You go on nabla.com, nabla.com, and you can sign up for free and try the product. This is the best marketing we have.
Yeah, I've loved that. I remember from our first interview, like, it's free to sign up, no credit card. And by the way, you're in Europe, so you have to take care of the data, and privacy is an important aspect for Nabla as well. So I hope everyone goes and checks it out. We're excited to see your progress. Congratulations on 8 million encounters. That's amazing. So thanks so much, Alex. And thanks everyone for watching and listening. If you want to find more great healthcare IT content like this, be sure to check it out at healthcareittoday.com or search for Healthcare IT Today on your favorite podcasting applications.
Thank you.